That's good right there. Okay. So, hi, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm just coming in, hanging out for a minute. But before we get started, I want to kind of play some music for you guys while I'm waiting for my group to come in. Let's see here. Hmm, let's play this. Freedom tastes like rain. I carry storms inside me nobody ever saw. Smile through thunder just to keep from showing flaws. I held myself together when the world felt out of place. But every drop of pain still ran down my face. Freedom tastes like rain, heavy, honest, real. It hits hard, but it's the kind of hurt that heals. Freedom tastes like rain, wild, loud, unrestrained. I'm standing in it, unchained. I walked through days where I felt so down to the bone, trying to fight battles I was never meant to own. But every storm I survived taught me how to stand. And now I face the weather with my own command. Freedom tastes like rain, heavy, honest, real. It hits hard, but it's the kind of hurt that heals. Freedom tastes like rain, wild, loud, unrestrained. I'm standing in it, unchained. I let go of people who kept me stuck in yesterday. Let go of versions of myself that got in my way. I washed off every lie they tried to make me claim, and found myself again inside the rain. Freedom tastes like rain, heavy, honest, real. It hits hard, but it's the kind of hurt that heals. Freedom tastes like rain, wild, loud, unrestrained. I'm standing in it, unchained. I'm not scared of storms. I've lived through worse. I'm not scared of rain. It's how I reverse. Every drop reminds me I survived the strain. Freedom tastes like rain, heavy, honest, real. It hits hard, but it's the kind of hurt that heals. Freedom tastes like rain, wild, loud, unrestrained. I'm standing in it, unchained. Freedom tastes like rain. I carry storms inside me nobody ever saw. Smile through thunder just to keep from showing flaws. I held myself together when the world felt out of place. But every drop of pain still ran down my face. Freedom tastes like rain, heavy, honest, real. It hits. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How are you? Uh, can you hear me? There we go.
Yes, ma'am. How
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm doing great. I cannot complain. I'm sorry.
Me either.
I'm too excited. I'm too hyped. I don't know why, but I'm just too hyped right now. I'll figure out later. Okay,
Okay.
so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to be on chapter 1.4 because we did all the way up to chapter 1.3. So now we're going to be doing chapter 1.4.
Okay.
Okay. Um, so far, how do you feel about this book so far?
I love it. Like I stated last time,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very interesting book.
Uh-huh.
And
There's Miss Linda. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. I'm listening.
to read how these women were going through these different events and how they navigated through them,
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
very interesting.
exactly. Hey, Miss Linda, I was just asking Miss
How you
Linda.
doing, Miss Linda?
Hello, good evening, everyone.
How are you?
I'm tired. I just finished working in my yard.
Uh-huh.
So I'm here.
Well, if I promise I'll try not to keep you long. It depends on how fast you read. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, so look, so I got a question. Did y'all finish y'all quiz?
I
Yes, ma'am.
finished it, but I don't have my book. I'm not at home.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So that means that's the responsibility of Miss Linda to go through the tests, right?
I'll take one for the team.
You'll take one for the team. Okay, okay. So we'll do the chapter first, and then we'll work on the quiz after that, the answers.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go ahead and let me share this with you guys. Okay. La, 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 la. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. And we are on chapter, I mean, yeah, we're still on one. So
Okay.
it's 1.4 is where we left off at. So Miss Latasha, I'm gonna make it big enough so you can see it. Where is my
Yes, ma'am.
yes. Oh, wait a minute, wait. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. I think I went too far. Yeah, 1.4 is the last one. Then we'll be going into chapter four. I mean two. So that's good. So let me make this
Okay.
bigger. I think I have it at 120. Or is it 140? Let's see. I think it's 140. Is that big enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with you. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be down here, 1.4. I asked Miss Latasha how did she think about this book, and she was telling me how she likes the stories and how all these women have been through a lot and all that. So it stuck with me. And you guys, let me tell you before we even get started. This is crazy, y'all. How did y'all let me forget we had a Saturday class? I'm having a day like Saturday was like dee 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 dee. You know how you going through your day, dee 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 da 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 da. And then when it came to nighttime, it was like everything was so quiet and smooth, and I'm like, and then I was talking to Shamir, and I said, oh my God, it just hit me. We didn't have a Saturday class, but maybe that's a good. That's why I said in the message, maybe that's a good thing we didn't have a class. Maybe we did need a break because
I
this
said
was.
to myself, I say, well, things must have got absolutely busy. So
And
I
maybe
didn't
that's a
even
good
bother. I
thing.
didn't even bother because I know that you can get pretty busy.
Yeah, I know. I was relaxing. I chilled. And I was like, it was just too quiet because I had to do my radio show, and then I had to do my what else? I had something else I had to do. So I had did that earlier today. So I'm like, because I try to every day I try to uh plan my day out. So the things that I said I need to do, okay, I need to do this today. So I'm thinking we got to nighttime, and I'm like, this is just. And then it hit me that I didn't do a class for Saturday night.
Well, I was going to send you a message because
Why
I was
didn't
sitting
you?
here because I was chilling. I said, let me eat before we do all this. And every time my phone pinged, I looked, I'm like, okay, that's not her. But
Oh my God, I totally forgot. But you know what? Maybe we needed that. So did
yeah.
y'all get your 10 minutes in this week? Anybody get your 10 minutes in?
I did.
Did okay, okay, okay. So when you did your 10 minutes, how did you feel?
Oh, well, I thought about a lot of things.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Actually, I've had I took more than 10 minutes. I took more than 10 minutes. I thought about a lot of things. I cried. I cried
Yes,
like
yes,
I
yes,
always do.
yes, yes.
And I thought about it some more and cried and thought about it some more and cried.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I feel you 100%. I get you. I get you. So I go today. Okay, I'm gonna share this real quick before we get into it. So I go see my therapist yesterday. Yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. So I go see my therapist yesterday, and you guys probably don't understand what it means when you have gifts. I'm not saying you don't. I know Latasha do. I'm not saying you don't, Miss Bell, but it's a whole different thing. Well, just so happened my therapist, it's like every time I go to her office, you guys, it's a feeling come over me. And it's a feeling of I become vulnerable. Do you know what that means? Like when you become like the weight of the world is like it's there, but in that space you feel different. You feel it, but it's not as it's a place where you can if it's a room full of hugs, okay, let me say it like that because that might be a little bit better of a scenario. When you walk into somebody's space and their space makes you feel like you just can hug somebody, well, that's how her, I don't know what is in her office, but her office feels like that. So I was sitting there and we were going back and forth because we were talking. I can tell you what I was talking about. I'm not ashamed. I'm we were talking about my sister who passed. And it was like every time I go to this lady's office, I want to cry. Like I want to like boo-hoo. But my pride won't let me cry. I'm sorry, but I'm just beyond. I can be a very prideful person at times. My pride won't let me, especially in a sense, cry in front of a stranger. Because to me, I don't know her in the sense that, like, if I would cry in front of you guys, it's different because I know you guys. But I probably wouldn't still cry. I've already cried in front of y'all. Y'all just didn't know it. But
Mm.
it's like I can't cry. And I told her that. And she said, yeah, we're going to get to that because she really wants to get deeper than what I'm talking. I'm on the surface, but I don't know her as well as to get deep with her. And she's trying to get there. But I'm kind of hesitating right now. So, anyway, so I had to tell her that. And then, look, I literally read her and I didn't mean to read her. It just kept coming up. And she said to me, this is what she said. She said, I know I have the gift. And I was like, damn. So I was on point because it was like I try not to do that to people, especially people who are not comfortable with me, right? People who don't know me don't know certain things I say and do. I can do that. But I was reading her and I didn't mean to. But being in her office, and I had to tell her, I said, your office does something. It makes the space in here. I don't know if you're doing some type of whatever you're doing in this room, it makes people vulnerable. And she said, you're not the only person told me that. Other people say that too. Where she makes you where you can open up to her. But I hold back a lot because I'm not ready to do that. But she can get you to the point where I was like, so I was like, do you know you do that? She's like, yeah, I know. And just like nonchalant, like it ain't nothing. Yeah, I know I got the gift. I said, dang. So
Hmm.
I wanted to share that with you guys because when we talk, we can do this with us, but doing it with a stranger is different. It gets a whole nother vibe. Gosh, it was, and I'm glad I'm sharing this with you guys because I share everything with y'all. But I want y'all to understand I'm not crazy. First, I am. Let me take that back. I have medicine to say I'm crazy, okay? But I'm not crazy on the spiritual matter. I'm on spiritual
You're
work.
not.
I'm
You're
not.
not.
But on everything else, I'm crazy, right? But I just wanted to share that with y'all because that's how I was feeling. And that was almost like I was feeling Saturday night when I forgot about doing the class. I was in my moment. And I was like, and I was talking to Shamir. And I was like, we didn't do a class for Saturday at all. I was like, damn, how did I forget not to do a class on Saturday? But anyway, I'm glad I shared that with y'all. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. 1.4, the question that starts everything. So let me know if that's big enough for you, Miss Latasha. Is that big enough
I
for
have it
you?
blowed up on my end as well.
Okay, great. Awesome, awesome. Okay, so you may start, ma'am.
The question that starts everything. In all the years I have been doing this work, the moment that consistently transforms the energy in the room is not when I offer a brilliant insight or a clever technique. It is when I pause, look at the woman sitting across from me, and ask her a very simple question. What do you want? What do you want unpacked today? The first time I asked Keisha this question, she stared at me for a full 30 seconds without speaking. Her mouth opened and then closed again. She had been she had been to therapists before, had sat through workshops and read self-help books. And in all of that experience, no one had ever asked her what she wanted to work on. They had told her what she should work on, what she needed to process, what step came next in the protocol, but no one had handed her the map and said, "You choose the destination." And so this question, as simple as it sounds, landed on her. Hold on, I got the, oh my God. It just moved, Miss Alito. I can't I can't see it. Okay, let me go back. Okay.
You want me to make it bigger?
No, no, it's fine. I'm making it bigger on my end, but it just completely had moved. Okay, I'm trying to find where I was now.
Okay, you choose
Okay,
the
she had been to the therapist before, had
uh-huh.
sat through workshops and read self-help books.
Hmm.
And in all of that experience, no one had ever asked her what she wanted to work on. They
Okay.
had told her what she should work on, what she needed to process, what steps came next in the protocol, but no one had handed her the map and said, "You choose the destination." And so this question, as simple as it sounds, landed on her like a revelation and also like a weight, because choosing meant taking responsibility and and taking responsibility was terrifying when she had spent decades. Hmm, I this it just okay. When she had landed on her, when oh my God, it just keep moving. But no one had ever handed her the map and said, "You choose the destination." And so this question, as simple as it sounds, landed on her like a revelation and also like a weight, because choosing meant taking responsibility. And taking responsibility was terrifying when she had spent decades deferring to the expertise of everyone else. This question is radical in the context of trauma work, because trauma is at its core an experience of powerlessness. When you are traumatized, something happens to you that you did not choose and could not control, and your sense of urgency is shattered in the aftermath. Traditional approaches to healing often indefinitely reciprocate this dynamic by positioning the practitioner practitioner as the expert who knows what you need, and you as the patient who follows instructions even when this even when the intentions are good. The structure itself can feel like another version of being told what to do with your own pain, another message that someone else knows better than you what is happening inside your own body and spirit. But women of color who already navigate a world constantly questions their competence and overrides their autonomy This dynamic can be especially wounding. We need to go up. Okay. Need to go up some more. It's
Okay.
all I can see is I'm
Yeah, because
unpacking the.
okay, there
Okay,
we
there we
go.
go. There we go. There we go.
Okay.
Back down a little. Okay.
Okay.
What I have learned through my own journey with personal trauma and through countless of sitting with other women as they unpack their pain is that healing cannot be imposed from the outside. It has it has to be chosen from within. The act of choosing, the simple profound act of identifying what you want to address today and what you want. Okay. I'm trying to see where I was at. Okay. Every time you answer the question, you are practicing urgency. You are reminding your nervous system that you are not powerless anymore, that you get to decide what comes out of the backpack and when and how. This does not mean that you have to have all the answers or that you need to map out your entire healing journey before you begin. It just means that in this moment, you get to name what feels most pressing, and that is enough. Some women, when I ask, some women, when I first ask them this question, feel a surge of anxiety because they have spent so long ignoring their own needs that they genuinely do not know what to choose. This inner voice that might have once guided them have been drawn out by years of people pleasing and perfectionism. And the silence that greets the question feels like failure. If this happens for you, I want you to know that the silence is not a sign that you are doing it wrong. It is a sign that you are authentic. Voice has been buried under a lot of layers, and it will take some time to ex- excavate it. The question itself is the shovel. Just by sitting with it, by letting yourself feel this discomfort of not knowing, you're beginning to work, oh my God, of reconnecting with the part of you that does not know the part that has already known but has not been safe to speak. These little bit of words, oh Lord, they'll give you a headache. I'm telling you, I'm really struggling to read this, but I'm reading it. Even with it's blowing up on my end, it's still small. It's going back to small. Can you hear me?
I hear you. She might be on mute.
Okay. It's still going back to small, Miss Linda. And I mean it's tiny.
Y'all can't hear me?
Yeah, she went on mute.
No, I'm not
These
on.
Miss Salita,
I'm not
these
on
the words are so tiny, they are so small.
Y'all
Like
can't
I'm
hear me.
struggling to read this and it's so frustrating because you don't want to skip over words.
But I made it up to 150.
Yeah, but it's going small, and even when I try to blow it up on my end, it's going back small.
Oh, I don't know then, baby. I'm
Um,
sorry. I apologize for that.
that's
Yeah,
okay, but I read it though. That's all that
Yeah,
counts.
That's
I
what
read it.
you did it.
No.
So I want to talk about this because I started and I didn't know it was more to it than what we were reading until you got to that point. So let me ask you something. So did you hear, and this really kind of really, because she said no one has ever asked her, everybody's given her instructions on how she need to do something, right? She never said, no one ever said, go ahead and choose your own destination. Do you guys feel like that when you, if you've had to talk to a therapist or anybody, even with me? Do I list off things you need to do when I don't really understand where you're at in your stages of whatever's going on with you?
Well, I've been told you get to choose your destination. I've been told so many different things,
Mhm.
Miss Alita.
Mhm.
Um, but my thing is this: you get used to talking to these folks, and then after a while they leave, and then you have to open up to somebody else. I'm the opposite of you. I'm not good with just opening up to anybody. I
Yeah.
don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I'm not good with just opening up to them. That's something that you have to definitely earn from me.
Yeah.
As
Gotcha.
for me going into details about my personal life, oh,
Mhm.
you have to earn that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm not ashamed of anything. You just have to be careful
Yeah.
who you talk to.
That's right. You're
That's
right. You're right.
true.
That is so true. You're right. You're right. You're right. 100%. I totally agree with you. And I think the ideal that Keisha was looking for direction and nobody's ever put it back in her hands. You see what I'm saying? Like she said, the therapist and all the stuff, no one has said, okay, what you want to do. It's always somebody telling her, mapping her out instead of her saying, okay, I'm coming to you and I'm literally going to tell you what I want. I just need help with you telling me what direction or how I should go about it. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever it is that she needed to do, whatever she needed to go through, she knew her story. So really not being able to, if I tell you my story, I'm only telling you my story. I'm not really asking some, because sometimes we're venting. We're not really asking for any help. We're just venting. And sometimes even therapists don't realize that some people come to you to just vent unless they recognize it and say, okay, yeah, just sit still. You got 45 minutes, let it all out. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take that information because they are sworn to confidentiality. Okay.
Right,
So it doesn't mean they're going to go tell anybody else about it. It's just the ideal. And you, like you said, you choose what you want them to know about you and you earn that, right? They
right,
they have to earn the idol that you want to talk. That's why I said what I said about my therapist. I basically, she wants to get me talking about my PTSD. I'm not ready to go there. No matter what she
right.
says, I'm not
And
ready to
then
go
you
there.
have times where you may be you may wake up and you may not want to talk about that. You may not want to you don't want to go through that for the day, because I got to be honest with you, when you go through those sessions,
Hmm.
it's on you for the rest of the day, a
Yes,
day and
yes,
days after that. It
yes,
can weigh on you. And
yes.
there's days where you do just don't want to be you don't want to be there.
Yeah, 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 exactly. You're correct. You're correct. You are so correct. That's why me and her we set up on a once a month. Because I used to do that every 2 weeks. I did the group. I did the, like we're doing cognitive behavior theory right now, therapy right now. And I've done it before, but it's been years since I've done it. So we're back into that now, dealing with how am I handling everything that I'm going through with my mom and my sister and everybody else in my life. So I with her, she doesn't push, but she lets me talk. But I'm not telling her. I'm just not that open to somebody I don't directly know, personally. And I'm not saying I don't like her. Having a black therapist, period, is a great thing because we don't have them. And I told them I would not talk to anybody else unless you have a black therapist. So I had that choice, and I was blessed to have that, because everybody don't know what you've gone through, and everybody can't feel it the same way that you feel it. So that's another reason why you have to be very careful of who you tell your situations to. And you keep telling the story. Like you said earlier, I will not lie to you guys. Altogether, I might have had 15 to 20 different therapists. Do you think I
Yeah,
want to tell my
they
story like
change.
over and over again? Just imagine telling 15 different people your story. So I don't do it. You have to come to a point where you don't do it. They don't. I said I'm not starting from scratch with you. I say if you haven't read my file, I'm not. I'm
Right,
not
right,
like, no, I'm not saying it. You have to. I said, okay. I just want you to understand. I'm not going. That's a long damn time to sit
right,
and tell the story over and over again. I'm not doing. I'm not going there with you on that. And she understood it from the get go, and which is good. She's very straightforward, just like I am with her. She's that way with me. I don't want to go through it. I don't want to keep telling the story, but I do understand what you're saying. So this Miss Keisha here, no one ever told her that she can tell her own story. No one ever said that, okay, I found out, I looked in your file, and these are the instructions I'm going to give you to do. I'm going to send you home with some homework. Now, she's not even talking to her, just imagine. And she's writing down all these instructions. I want you ripping it off. These are the things I need you to do. And when you come back, we'll talk about it. That's not what that's not what she wanted. She needed someone to say, it's all right for you to have the pain and go through what you're going through. So, what are you going to do about it? That's basically what she's saying. What are you going to do about it? And no one has ever addressed her in that way. And that's what happens to a lot of us in this situation. No one has ever told us as Black women, okay, so now that you've been through all this, how are you going to go? How are you going to navigate now? No one's ever said that to us. Everybody wants to tell us how we need to feel, what we need to do with our bodies, how we need to think. You know, no one ever says, I understand what you've been through. So what are you going to do now? We can grieve. We can go through the pain. But is that going to change? Is that going to grow you? Is that going to make you a better person? Because we can't go around. Remember, we got a backpack on our back, right? And we're carrying all this stuff with us all the time. So are we going to actually put the bag down and go through it and pull this stuff out that no longer is helping us, no longer navigating us in the right direction? Are we going to do that? And that's where we got to come with everything that we've been through. We got to figure out, do we want to continue doing this? And when you do go to a therapist, she's got to be that person. I ain't gonna say no he, because I promised myself I would never get another male therapist. Um, when when you're going through this, she's got to understand too her position.
right,
They're told to do certain things with us. The reason why it's not always healthy to have a white therapist, a white female therapist, because she does not understand who we are. It doesn't. You got to look at how her dynamics are and how our dynamics are. Okay, she doesn't. She might deal with a little sexism, but we deal with it constant. We deal with, not only do we deal with sexism, we deal with racial discrimination, right? We deal with not being paid well. We deal with not only from white men, but we also deal with from our own men, how we're being treated. So she doesn't understand that, because she gets it one way. She'll get it from her men. And most likely they agree to a lot of stuff that they allow their women, women agree to it. They allow their men to treat them like they do. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to do that. They're A lot of them are Karens. A lot of them are very jealous of Black women. So you sitting up there telling them your whole story, you don't know if they're jealous of what you're talking about. So to me, you have to put all that in consideration. That's why I prefer a African American therapist, and I will never do again. And I will stop if they say, well, she's leaving. Okay, cut my. You want to see anybody else? Not unless they're black. If they're not black, I don't want to see them. And I will not. Even my primary care doctor is black. I refuse. Because again, we have to look at medical apartheid. We're not going to go in there. That's history. But if you read the book Medical Apartheid, you'll see the reason why we as black people need our own doctors. We don't need to be up under white folks as doctors. We can't help it because that's the ones who we have in our care right now, or the ones who care for us, because it's more of them than it is us. So we have no other choice. But if we had a choice, I would have all African American doctors. I would. That's just me. Okay. Um, so with that, saying that we feel that oh, the ideal that no one has ever opened the door for her to do her own, um, showing, not necessarily showing her, but saying to her, "Oh, go ahead, you can do it. What do you want to do? What do you want out of this? How do you how do you feel?" Again, we have this backpack that we are carrying. Our therapist is not carrying it. We are. So we have to choose whether or not, okay, what am I going to get rid of today? So let me ask y'all this. Remember earlier it said, what are you going to unpack today? What do you guys got an opportunity to unpack? Have you been able to unpack anything?
Yes, I have
Okay.
a little frustration with someone.
Okay. Okay. I get you.
So I did that actually 2 days in a row.
Oh,
So
okay. You sound like me now. I whoa. Oh my God. We're not okay, go ahead.
but yeah, the frustration. I mean, I felt better afterwards, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't feel guilty?
No, ma'am,
Okay,
I did not.
okay. Good, 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 good. And how do you think how do you think that person received what you were unpacking?
She understood.
Okay. Gotcha. 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 Okay. Latasha, have you done any unpacking?
Yes, ma'am, and some areas, because I had a lot. I have a lot in my backpack.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I've been told that I've been through more than people will go through in one lifetime.
Uh-huh.
So in some places I'm still working on it, but yeah,
Okay.
I've unpacked some.
Okay. And and the great part about unpacking is the realization that comes with it. That to me, that's the greatest part of releasing that burden. Is even though it's a small one, don't have to be nothing major, but it could be a small burden, and recognizing it and then releasing it, whatever way you can release it. That's that's awesome. So don't always look for the big wins. Look for the small ones. Look for the win that said, okay, I'm going to tell that person no. Look for the wins that say, okay, I'm putting boundaries in place. Look for the wins like, I'm not going there with you. Look for the wins where, okay, you've said what you had to say. I'm not going to allow you to continue disrespecting me. I'm done. Those are small wins. And you can put that out, you can pick that up and take that out your backpack because you don't have to deal with that no more. Okay. So once you and then and you do, I don't know, maybe you guys don't, but whenever because I am so, oh gosh, I am so, whenever I need to do something like that, I feel so guilty. I feel like, oh my God, I was mean. Oh my God, I was disheartened. Oh my God, I have to say it like that? So I'm always questioning whenever I say something when I'm there. I always go back and question myself to see if instead of just like letting it go, I'm always questioning myself. I don't know why, but I do.
I do
I,
that sometimes.
like, should I say that? Should I? I should. Oh, should I?
Well, I
Go ahead.
just once I get going, I pretty much just get going, try to get it over with.
And
But
then
I
what?
don't. I when it's I try to give it to them straight,
Uh huh.
so I don't feel bad about telling the truth.
Uh huh.
No, I don't feel bad about telling the truth.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Okay. So did you do the last page? What I love about this question? Did you do that one? I think we ain't finished. Okay. You still. So I'm gonna let Linda go ahead and read this. I don't want to burden you with a lot today, Latasha. Um. Linda, can you see this one? The next page is where it says "What I love."
Oh, yes.
Okay. Start right there for me.
Okay. What I love about this question is that it also gives you permission to not unpack everything. You do not have to dive into the deepest, most painful stone on the very first day. You do not have to follow anyone else's timeline or sequence. If today the thing you want to unpack is a small irritation from a conversation with your sister, that is valid. If tomorrow the thing you want to unpack is the grief you have been carrying since your grandmother died, that is also valid. There is no hierarchy or pain that you must respect, no requirements that you address the big things before the small things. What matters is that you are choosing and that your choice is honored. This, to me, is the foundational shift that makes all the difference. Moving from a model where healing is something done to you into a model where healing is something you actively participate in,
Mhm.
guided by your own wisdom and your own readiness.
Mm.
The question also serves as a gentle but firm boundary against the pressure to perform healing for an audience. So many women of color feel that they need to heal in a way that looks impressive or
Mhm.
inspirational to others.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
That they need to have the tidy story of overcoming and the glowing testimony of transformation. This pressure is exhausting and it is counterproductive because it puts the focus back on eternal validation rather than internal truth. When you sit with the question, what do you want to unpack today? There is no audience. There's only you and your backpack and the honest answer that rises up from somewhere deep. That honesty is the foundation on which everything else in this workbook will be built. So I invite you right now, before you turn the page, to sit with this question for a moment. Do not rush to answer it. Do not try to craft the right answer or the impressive answer. Just let the question be there, like a door held open, and notice what stirs in you when you consider the possibility that you get to choose. The question will return throughout this workbook in different forms, and you will have many opportunities to practice answering it. But for now, simply notice the weight of the hidden backpack on your shoulders
Mm.
and know that you have already taken the first step by acknowledging it is there.
Yes, 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 yes. But you guys already told me what you unpacked, so I kind of pushed that. Should have waited a little bit, but I already made y'all tell me. So I think this would be a great journal prompt for every day. Every day your day starts out, whatever you want to say on your journal, and then put on there, what do I have to unpack today? I think that would be an awesome
I
journal entry.
I ask that question every morning when I go through my what I do every morning, but
Uh-huh.
I ask God, what do I need to work on today?
Yeah, yeah,
I do that every morning.
yeah.
And uh sometimes I get it and sometimes I don't.
Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
And that's all right, because this is not perfect. This is not trying to be straightforward, disciplined, focused, and purpose, because everything comes in different ways to us, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it does, like I said, it could be a big thing or a small thing. It don't have to, be something that it has to be right on time. It doesn't have to be on my time. It don't have to be something I set together for you guys to do. No, this is when you feel like it. If you feel like unpacking something, unpack it, write it down. If you don't, you just don't, and that's where you have to get used to being comfortable. The freedom is, it's yours. It's your situation. It's your backpack. If you don't want to open up that backpack and take nothing out for a month, that's you. I mean, that's what you want to do. You just know that you carry that backpack, and some of the things in that backpack affects you.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it's simple. It's not that hard. And I think lots of times we make things harder than they are, when really a lot of things have a yes or no answer, or 1, 2, 3 step, and we make it harder than we want, because it's like, because we're always in a survival mode, we're looking to survive that thing, whatever it is. Instead of us going ahead and dealing with it, we prefer to survive it. Okay, so what goes with the survival? You start putting stuff together, start making things, all over the place, because you got to survive this. But you don't. You chose that. Whatever it is that you need to do to get you through, that's what you choose. And I love that freedom. So let's start with chapter 2. Um, I'll go ahead and read this part for you guys. So, chapter 2 is the core principle: choosing your unpacking order. 2.1, trauma informed choice. As an empowerment coach, I have watched women sit in circles on couches and across from me in virtual sessions, holding years of pain that other people told them to organize in a certain way. Wow. And I've seen the exhaustion in their eyes when they realize they never had the opportunity to choose what is important to them. Choice is not a luxury you add after the hard work is done. It is the foundation that makes the work possible in the first place. Because when trauma stole your voice, the first thing it took was your ability to decide what hurts and what can wait. The old models of healing handed you a checklist and said, start here, work through this, forgive that, release those. And that if that order felt wrong, or the timing felt impossible, you were the one who was failing, excuse me. But what if the failure was never yours? And what if the method that ignored your inner knowing was the broken piece all along? Because no external expert can feel the weight of what sits in your chest when you wake up at 3 in the morning, or when a family gathering triggers a memory you thought you buried. I use questions to open up the space for choice, because a question says you are authority here. You know things about your pain that no textbook can ever could. Excuse me. And your voice matters in deciding what gets unpacked first and what stays folded in the back of the closet for another season. Trauma informed care means we recognize that the experience of losing control is central to the wound itself. And so, agency, rebuilding that muscle that says I choose, must woven into must be woven into every step of the process. Come on. Not treated like an afterthought once you are already fixed. When I work with women of color, I see how much of their lives have been shaped by other people's expectations, other people's timelines, other people's definitions of what strength looks like. And what I know that and I know that handing them a new set of expectations in the name of healing would just be recreating the same dynamic that hurt them in the first place. Imagine walking into a room full of boxes, some sealed tightly with tape that has yellowed over decades, others sitting open with their contents spilling onto the floor. And someone hands you a list that says open box 7 first, then box 3, then box 12. And if you do not follow the list, you're not doing the work correctly. That is what traditional trauma recovery has offered to so many of you. And that is why I want to offer something different, something that starts with a deep breath and the radical permission to look around the room and ask yourself which box feels ready to be touched today, which one is calling your name, which one you have the energy to carry to the center of the floor and sit with it for a while. Wow, that's deep. The beauty of choice based unpacking is that it honors your nervous system, which has been on high alert for years, sometimes since childhood, and which knows better than any worksheet whether opening a particular memory right now will bring you closer to healing or send you spiraling into a place you are not yet resourced to handle. When you choose, you're also listening to that quiet voice inside that you may have been taught to ignore. The voice that says, not yet, or yes, that one, or I need more support before I touch this one. And every time you honor that voice, you are rebuilding the trust you lost when the world told you that your feelings were too much or not valid or inconvenient. There is a difference between avoidance and pacing. And I want you to understand that deeply because so many of you have been told that anything short of driving headfirst into the deepest wound is resistance or denial, when really it might be the wisdom of a body that knows its own limits. Avoidance says, I will never look at this. I will pretend it does not exist. I will build my life around not feeling this thing. And pacing says, I see that box over there. I know it matters. I am choosing to build my strength and gather my resources so I can open it with care rather than ripping it apart and being flooded by what comes out. Pacing is not weakness, it's strategy. And it is a strategy that women of color who have been conditioned to push through and endure and survive at all costs desperately need permission to claim as their own. As described in the introduction, choice is the opposite of trauma. And I want you to sit with that truth until it settles into your bones. Because every time you were forced, silent, overwritten, or dismissed, choice was stripped away. And every time you now decide for yourself what to unpack and when, you are reclaiming something sacred. This is not about being selfish or stubborn or refusing to do the work. It is about recognizing that the work cannot be done by someone else's map, that your internal landscape is uniquely yours, with its own fault lines and hidden springs and places where the ground is too soft to walk on yet. And only you can navigate it with the kind of atonement that true healing requires. So, what y'all think about that?
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, but I love it because it put it out on the table. You see how it just laid it out there for you to make a decision?
Yeah, like they giving you a decision on which box you want to open.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
And that's what we do. That's what therapists do. Sometimes that's what coaches do. We tell you there's box two, three, four, and five. Those are the ones I need you to do. When we get back together, I want to know what you found in those boxes. And when reality is no, no. I have to pick. I have to prep myself to pick that box you're talking about. I'm not ready for that box, but I can go over here and do box number two because I see what box number two is. I can relate to it, and so I can go and open that. I have the strength to open up box number two. I don't want to touch three. I don't want to touch five. I don't want to touch any of those. I just want to concentrate on box number two. And I can sit with box number two as long as I want to until I know that I'm healed out of box number two. Then I might go to box number three or five or whatever. And we never look at it like that. That is a way, if you visualize that, that is awesome,
mhm.
right? That is awesome. And so this is like awakening for me too. So do y'all want to do 2.2? It's up to y'all.
We can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who gonna start? The
I'll,
unpacking map.
I'll start.
Go right ahead.
Okay, 2.2, the unpacking map. I want to give you a way to see your pain that does not overwhelm you. And so I created what I call the unpacking map, a set of circles spread across the page, each one representing a different area of your life where pain may have settled and taken up residence over the years. The circles are labeled things like family, work, relationships, identity, self worth, and I ask you to look at them not as a list of demands, but as an invitation to notice where the weight is heaviest and where it feels lighter, because that noticing is the first act of choice. One woman I worked with, Carmen, a Dominican American nurse who had been poured into everyone else for so long she forgot where her own needs felt like. Looking at her map and realized the work circle was pulsing with urgency. A supervisor, constant criticism, echoing old messages from a critical mother. And she said, I need to start there, even though everyone told me to deal with my childhood first. The map does not tell you where to begin. It simply says, here are the territories. And you get to put your finger on the one that is calling you, the one you have the energy for, the one that keeps you up at night, and that is your starting point. No explanation or justification required. There is no hierarchy among the circles, no rule that says you must heal the oldest wound before the newer ones, or that family always come before career, because trauma does not follow a neat timeline and your readiness does not either. And some days the pain from last week, microaggression at work, is more accessible and more pressing than the pain from a childhood you have already spent decades surviving. When you draw your own unpacking map, I encourage you to add circles that reflect the specific contours of your life. Maybe one for spirituality if your faith community has been both a refuge and a source of pressure. Maybe one for your body if you carry the weight of beauty standards that were never designed for you. Maybe one for money if financial sacristy,
No, scarcity.
scarcity has been a constant thread of stress and survival. The map becomes a living document, not a static assessment. And as you heal in one area, you might find that another circle suddenly feels more accessible, or that a circle you thought was small turns out to hold more than you realize. And that is not failure. That is the natural unfolding of a process that respects complexity. I have watched women sit with their maps and feel something shift just from seeing their pain eternalized on paper. No longer a formless mass pressing on their chest, but a set of distinct areas that can be approached one at a time. And I have heard them say, I did not realize how much I was carrying until I saw it all in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
The map also reveals patterns that might not have been visible before, like the way the identity circle might be tangled with the family circle, how messages about who you are supposed to be were handed down through generations, and seeing those connections gives you information you can use to decide what to address and when. There is no right way to fill out the map, and I want you to resist the urge to make it pretty or organized or presentable, because this is not a document for anyone else's eyes. It is a tool for your own clarity, and scribbles and arrows and crossouts are all welcome. If you need to sit with the blank page for a while before you start drawing circles, that is okay too, because sometimes the first choice you make is the choice to pause and let your own wisdom rise to the surface before you commit anything to paper. The unpacking map is yours, and the way you use it, the order you choose, the circles you add or leave out, all of that is part of practicing the muscle of choice that trauma tried to, I can't say that word,
Atrophy. Atrophy.
atrophy. Okay.
So, did you hear that? So, you already know what you got to do.
Yeah, we got to do a
You
map.
gotta make, yeah, you gotta make your circles and you put in there whatever you want. I don't have to see it. You don't even have to discuss it. Just keep it in your journal and something you can go back and look at every day if you want
Okay.
to. But yeah, I think that's one. I think that's awesome. I think that is really awesome. I
When
think
I
I.
read this,
Uh huh.
I said, she going to tell us to draw a map.
Oh my God.
I
Y'all know
said
me
it.
too. Look, y'all know me too well. Y'all know me
She
too.
going to make us draw a map.
Okay, it's a workbook, so you
Okay.
have to.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to do 2.3, Miss Latasha?
I don't mind.
Okay, so and then we'll work on our quiz. Okay, go ahead, baby.
Okay. Turn around so I can blow it up. Permission to not pick it up. There is something I need to tell you that may feel like a breath of air in a room where the red is on that word. I can't see it.
Okay, okay, is it? Can you see it now?
Okay.
Mm.
There is something I need to tell you.
I'm sorry. Hold up, baby. I messed with it too much. I'm trying to get it back to where it's at. Okay, so let's go back up here. Let's see where I'm at. Yeah, we're too far up. We on this one. Go ahead.
There is something I need to tell you that you may that that may feel like a breath of air in a room where the windows have been painted shut. And it is this. Some pain can stay packed forever, and that choices does not make you broken or incomplete or resistant to healing. It makes you a woman who knows her own limits and honors them. The
Mm-hmm.
culture of healing often pushes a narrative that everything must be processed, every wound evacuated, every memory re-examined, and while that may that might work for some, it does not account for the reality that some boxes are sealed for a reason. That some pain is not asking to be unpacked right now or
Mm-hmm.
ever.
Mm.
And that forcing open what is not ready can cause more harm than good.
Ah,
The red on that word, Miss Salita.
okay. Can you see now?
I have met women who carried guilt for years because they were told that they had not truly,
Healed.
they had not truly, I, it's on that word.
Okay. Okay. Let me move it up some. Is that
Okay.
it?
That
Okay.
they had not truly healed unless they confronted a particular family member or revisited a particular event. And matched, I have watched that guilt add a second layer of pain on top of the original wound. The shame of not measuring up to someone else's standards of what healing should look like. When I asked them what, I guess the word is they read on now.
Wait a
When
minute.
I
Hold
ask them what they want, when I give them the opportunity to choose what is important to them, they often say, I want to focus on my present. I want to build a life that feels good right now. The past can stay where it is. And I tell them that is a valid and complete choice, not a
Compromise.
compromise or a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
Permission not to pick it up is not the same as denial because denial pretends something. I'm
Did
trying to
not
find
happen.
out. I'm trying to find out where I left off at because it completely moved over.
Hold up.
It's not denial because Denial pretends something did not happen, while this kind of permission acknowledges that it did happen,
Mhm.
recognizes its impact, and consciously decides that unpacking it is not the part of wholeness for you, at least not now, and maybe not ever. You might decide that the energy it would take to open that box is energy you need for raising your children, for building your career, for tending to the relationships that sustain you, and that calculation is not selfish. It is wisdom. It is a woman knowing her own captivity and refusing to drain herself dry for the sake of a completion that might not even be necessary.
Mhm.
I use questions to help you find clarity about what stays packed. Questions like, what would happen if you never opened that box? What are you afraid? Why are you afraid you would miss? What are you afraid you would lose? And sometimes the answers reveal that the fear of leaving it untouched is actually someone else's fear, a critical message, or a therapeutic expectation that you have internalized without ever examining it. Other times, the answers reveal that a particular box feels too heavy for solo work, that you might need a therapist or a trusted support person to be with you if you ever do decide to open it. And the recognition of itself, an act of self-care, not an admission of weak. The act itself, the act of itself. Wait a minute, it just went completely over. The act of itself. I'm
Itself
still
an
trying to
act
see.
of self-care.
I'm trying to see where we at.
Yeah, right here. Can you, if I put
Okay,
this right here, right here.
okay.
Okay.
The act of self care, not an admission of weakness.
Uh-huh.
Is not an admission of weakness. As explored in the introduction, the goal is healing and being able to continue enjoying life. And if a certain piece of your history does not interfere with that goal, if it sits quietly and does not disrupt your present, you are allowed to let it rest. There is so much pressure on women of color to be the ones who process everything, who hold everyone's pain, who do the emotional labor for entire families and communities, and who want you to release the idea that you must also process every single thing that ever happened to you in order to be whole. Wholesomeness does not mean having no unopened boxes. It means having a relationship with yourself that is honest and compassionate, that knows when to push and when to rest, that trusts your own timing and your own knowing.
Okay. Okay. So do you get that concept? Do you understand what they were saying? What she's saying right there? Anybody?
Basically, she's saying that, in your own timing, you can unbox whatever you choose to.
Exactly. Yep. You don't have to do it in order, like we said earlier. You don't have to do it in no particular order. Like the ideal of never opening up the box. That wouldn't be something I would even think that we had that opportunity to do. Is not to open up, to not to open up that box. So to me, I never even thought about that. I'm thinking that, yeah, I need to go through all the boxes. But in reality, no, you don't have to. You can
Yeah,
pick and
because
choose.
it's one box. I mean, you may not want to open that box at all.
That's right. That's right. You might want to leave that box closed forever. Like there's no need to open it up, period. No need to
Right.
touch it. You know it's there,
Right.
but you don't have to touch it to open it. I never thought about that like that. Damn. Okay. Wow. So we're gonna stop there and we'll start with 2.4, your authentic voice as a GPS. We will be starting that on Saturday, hopefully. In the meantime, let us look at, let's come out of here. Stop sharing. Let us look at our quiz. Let me see, I gotta go over here, you guys, real quick. Pull up my docs. Okay. What was our last quiz? Is that the one? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to share the quiz. Okay. Um, this is our last quiz, right? Yeah, this is the last quiz we did. So Miss Linda, can you hear me, Miss Linda? Oh, Miss Linda. Oh, she left out. She'll come back in. I'll wait for her to come back in. There she go. Okay. Did you try to get out so you don't do the quiz?
No, I was waiting and I'm like, she's not talking. I had to get out and come back
Come back
Mm-hmm.
in.
in.
But,
Could you
but
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
I
now.
think I can remember that one. Shadow work is when you work on dark places, like your past traumas that you would have. Yeah.
Is that the right quiz?
Wait a minute. I don't know. Wait. Give me a second. I had to put my cord on my door so nobody won't disturb me because they'll come in. Okay, wait a minute. Did we do this one already?
Yeah, we did that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I picked up the wrong one. Give me a second.
But if I'm not mistaken, some of those questions were still on there like that.
This
Wait a
one
minute.
is the Women of Color Guide to, okay, Embracing the Shadow, the True and False, chapter 6 through 9.
Yeah, we had another whole portion of it. That's right. So this is the set. Wait a minute. So it's got to be. I know I sent it to y'all. It's in here. Look, I know it's here. Hold up. Let me see. Let me go here. This is it, y'all. Ain't it? Hold up. Let me see.
Yeah, because some of those I remember. I know I'm not.
That is okay. So that's the
Some of
set.
those questions was on there like that, and then it
Yeah.
had a whole bunch of fill in the blanks. I remember that.
Okay, that's
Well,
part one. That was part one. That was 1 through 5. The
yeah,
end part of the what's the
Okay.
name was 7 through 9. So this is the end part of it right here.
right.
This is
That
the end
because
part.
it,
Yeah.
it would start with true and false, I think.
Yes. Yes. Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up, y'all. This I'm
See,
wrong.
this is why I need my notebooks
We can
because I write everything. I write it down.
we
Okay.
can wait till Miss Latasha get her notebook and we can go.
Yeah, because I
Here it
write it
goes.
down
Here,
because
here
I
it
already
goes.
know I'm not gonna remember everything. I'm just not.
Okay, so listen. Here it goes. You're right. It's chapter 6 through 9 right here. True or false, and then please complete the following sentences. Here we
Right.
go. There we go. Now, so no, you want Latasha. You waiting for Latasha because you don't want to answer all these questions.
I'm going. Hey,
I would want to join in too. So I agree with Miss Bell
see,
because
Okay.
I don't
see.
want her to do it all by herself.
Okay.
That wouldn't be fair.
Why wouldn't it be? Look, why wouldn't it be? Okay.
All right, Miss Latasha.
You heard what
It just wouldn't be
I
fair
heard.
though.
Look, I heard what she said. Okay. I'm sorry. We'll just wait.
No, you don't have to be sorry. I'm just being honest. It wouldn't be fair for her to do it all by herself.
Yeah, because it is 20 questions.
Oh, well,
Yes,
we go.
that's it. Yeah.
Were
Yeah,
we
that's a lot
going
of
over
questions.
all 20?
No, you know I always pick a certain amount. You know we don't always go over the whole thing. I just pick
Okay.
a certain amount.
Well,
I still want to do it with you.
Okay, you want to do it with us? Okay, okay.
I
We'll do
love
it.
Yes.
you, Miss
Yeah,
Latasha.
so
I love you
wait,
too, Miss Bell. I'm not fit to let you do it by yourself. It's
I
supposed to
like
be
that.
teamwork.
I
This ain't
love
supposed to
that.
just be all on Miss Bell.
What's that phrase? Teamwork make the dream work or something
There you
Dream
like
go.
work.
that?
There you
That's
go.
right.
When
I
you
don't
get
want
it
her to do it
together,
by herself.
despite everything, when you work it together, guess what? It gets done, right?
That's right.
It's
We're
done.
going to get it done.
So I would probably do about 10 questions out of the 20. So we wouldn't do all of them anyway. You know, I like to pick and choose a question. So we know now this is the correct one. I think I
Right.
titled it wrong. That's probably what happened in my file. But yeah, so that and then that'll be done with that book. We're not gonna since this is this book we're on now, it's actually a workbook. So you know you gotta have your circles drawn, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And look, and then you got to put in your journal, what am I going to unpack today? Okay.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about it, you can. If you don't, keep it to yourself. But I'll try to remind myself to ask y'all, what did you unpack today? Don't have to be nothing major, big. It could be something small. I mean, it could be anything. I took out some clothes today that I no longer wear. It made me feel better. My backpack is not heavy anymore. Those clothes have a lot connection to things that I was doing or things that I don't remember or things that I've done that I don't want to keep remembering. So I removed those clothes out of my closet, which means you remove them out your backpack. You see what I'm saying? Because the symbolism of whatever's in your backpack is whatever is in your backpack. You know what? Mm, I need to find a saying.
Oh
What
my
am I to
goodness.
unpack? I think this is so awesome. Okay, so the next time we meet, let's make sure it's Saturday and I don't forget. And y'all, please remind me. Say to me, are we gonna do a class today? Because we ain't heard nothing from you.
Now you
And
know I'm gonna make sure that happens, Miss Selena.
Like we're waiting on you, Miss Selena.
Yeah. You know, man. So excuse me if you be busy and I come in and say, now you know we're supposed to have a class tonight.
because I felt so bad afterwards. Like, how the hell did I forget of all things on Saturday night, my class? Because I
And
love
see,
this class.
I be doing absolutely nothing. So
You
I
be
be
so
up for it.
Oh, I'm so happy you guys do. I really do. I love the idea that y'all find this so fascinating to do. And people don't know how much they're missing so much great information shared on here. They just don't get it. And I guess, well, sometimes, maybe people don't want to unpack. Maybe people, they love having their nervous system all crazy all the time. Maybe they love living in survival mode. I don't know. I wouldn't. I want out. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't. I want the freedom. I want the peace. That's my ultimate thing is peace. I want to
Mhm.
be able to
Right.
sit and relax and not think of crazy stuff. I want to sit and relax and just be in me, just be about me. It's not about being selfish. It's called self-care and understanding you. When you can understand yourself, look at your mistakes, look at the things you might have said to somebody. When you can do that and kind of analyze it and say, you know what, maybe I should have said it differently. Maybe, nah, maybe I shouldn't have. When you can do that with yourself, I mean, talk to yourself. I mean, come on. What better place to be? You get comfortable with yourself. Some people are so uncomfortable with their reality, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. And that's because I'm beyond that now. Some people don't like to say when they're wrong. Some people don't like to apologize. Some people, it's a lot of stuff people just don't get. And you can't force them into it. You got to let them look when it's time for them to unpack their backpack or when it's time for them to unpack those boxes and deal with that stuff. You can't force them. You can't make them. You can't guilt them into it. You can't cuss them into it. You can't argue with them. You got to let them be. You got to let them be. And sometimes that's hard to do when you want to see them at a healing point too, right?
Right.
Right.
So that's the hard part about that. Okay, so you guys, we did great tonight. We almost did 2 hours, but that's because I probably talked too much. Um, but we shall be back here Saturday night. I don't know. I think Tavares might be doing a show tomorrow night, but tomorrow I have another, so I wouldn't be able to do anything tomorrow anyway. But I will definitely be back Saturday for sure. And y'all, we'll be done with this book in no time, and then we got to set up our date because
Okay.
in
Okay.
this month of August we got to pick a date, right? Y'all know that, right?
We know now.
Yeah, we know.
No, but I told y'all. Wait a minute, hold up now. That means y'all weren't listening.
No, man, we was listening. We remember.
Okay. In August, y'all need to pick a date. Now, y'all know tonight what's happening tonight, right? Y'all know
Was
what's happening tonight? Okay. So 7 of the planets are supposed to line up. We're supposed to have a solar eclipse.
Oh
right.
yeah,
Get the
yeah.
moon. We're supposed to lose gravity for 7 seconds.
We won't even feel it.
No, we won't even feel it.
We
What
That's
won't
crazy.
even
time?
feel it.
I don't know I think it's before
It
midnight.
depends on where you're at.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna have to Google it. See what
yeah.
time it's gonna
Or
be.
about
Yeah, you have to see the time zone that you're in.
yeah.
Right.
I think a lot of stuff is happening overseas. I think the solar eclipse is happening over. I don't think it's
It's
happening.
supposed to be meteor showers, all
Media
kind of
showers.
stuff
That's the
going
other
on.
thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be media showers. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
be outside looking because it's kind of nice outside. It's hot and muggy, but I
yeah.
go out there and
I
check.
love to go. I love to sit outside. It depends, if the mosquitoes ain't too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
sit out there.
Yeah, sit
Hmm.
outside and just relax. If it just needs a little tiny breeze. If there's a
Mm.
real tiny breeze, the mosquitoes they're not gonna come your way. But if it ain't that breeze and it's just humid, oh my God, that's terrible. You're getting hit all over the place. Zap, you're getting. You got to make sure you got all your stuff on. Go out there all oiled up and slide
Yeah.
out there to watch the moon. So yeah, it's supposed to be meteor showers. You're right. Meteor
Okay.
showers. The seven planets or the 6 planets supposed to parade. The solar eclipse, and I think it's a new moon or something tonight too. Yeah,
Okay. I'm gonna have to Google all that. The last time I made my little
It's happening. It's most
yeah,
definitely going down tonight.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
listen at
big
Miss Latasha
it
tonight.
is. It's going
ah.
down tonight.
Latasha. I got my stuff. I got my
Yes,
cinnamon.
ma'am.
I got my cinnamon rolling right here. Got my bay leaves. I got my salt. I got my candles. It's not a ritual, okay? I want to let you know, Miss Linda. I'm not trying to do no ritual.
I was not thinking that.
Well, the ingredients sound lovely.
Huh?
The ingredients sound lovely. It's all good.
I got
It's
the
all good.
candles ready to roll, ready to roll. Woo, Lord have mercy. So, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. We shall talk again Wednesday. To finish this up, finish chapter 2, and then we'll go into chapter 3. Like I said, this only has 5 chapters, so we'll probably be done before the end of the month. Hopefully.
Okay.
All right. So you guys have a great night. Take
Y'all
care.
too.
Good
All right.
night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Bye bye.